What's going on, guys? Robert here once again on BP News Live updates. I just got a message from someone that made me laugh. They were saying because we were alerting the other channels because we've got 10 other channels that are live streamed, whether it's YouTube or Rumble or whatever, and we tell everybody, hey, we're going to be live right now over on the other channel. So I can see all the different people talking in the chat. And I saw when somebody said, Robert, I get all your dings on all your different alerts because they're subscribed to everything. You know, they're on the Patreon, they're on the coffee, they're members on the channel, on the YouTube channel, they're members on Telegram, they're on our app, they get the app text alert, they probably get the push notification. So when I go live, how many of you guys get all these alerts? Like a ding, 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 ding. BP News is going live. You know when it's a big news day because you get all of these alerts. Like they're all on every single channel. It's like, all right, so we're about to go live, and is there going to be war? Are we about to watch, everything in the kitchen sink being thrown at Iran? And by the way, do you think Iran has anything up their sleeve? Do you think they're going to do something to the U.S.? Well, they're saying that they are. I mean, I think we should be paying attention to what they're saying because, you don't want to underestimate your enemy. Have you ever heard that saying, don't underestimate your enemy? Because when you do, you might end up finding you're on your backside for a moment or two, or maybe more, and it's called everybody has a plan, until they're punched in the jaw. And you don't always see those punches coming. That's the whole art of a guerrilla war. When you're a small little puny combatant and you're fighting a giant, then you revert to guerrilla. You become a guerrilla. You become, you have to, what they call, there's a term for this in warfare, and I'm trying to remember the term. There's a term for it, but force, I think it has something to do with force multiplier. Is that it? Force multiplier? Yeah, I think that's what it means. Force multiplier is it is a factor or technology or tactic that dramatically increases the effectiveness of a unit or resources beyond its inherent capability, allowing for greater results with less effort. Originating in military science, it refers to enhancing combat power, intelligence, specialized training, equipment. In business, it describes leaders who scale impact by developing, mentoring, and empowering others. So BP News is a force multiplier. Just so you know, if you're a part of this channel, you're actually a part of the force multiplying of information that is technology from the Most High. And I'm going to say that because we do draw upon wisdom from above. Okay, so we're asking God for everybody to be alerted, not just in their minds, not just in their logical senses and their, empirical evidence that we all have access to, or the AI. Everybody's using AI now. But we're talking about a truly spiritual awakening. That's what we're asking for you that are watching us right now to have as you're listening. This isn't just about the news. This isn't just about war breaking out all over the world. This isn't about just prophecy coming to pass in some nebulously understood way, because so many people talk about prophecy even if they're not Christians. We're talking about the reality of what that means in the real, life that you live in the here and now, to the very foundation of your soul. Because, we all have to give an account. We all have to give an account. Everybody's going to be weighed in the balance. Every motive, every thought, everything that you do, you're going to have to give an account for. Now, we're going to get into the news. Believe me, the whole thing with Iran is definitely prophetic end time news. Oh, I forgot to alert Telegram. There we go. Telegram, we are live. That was one place I forgot to alert. Telegram. Okay, so what we can do is go through all the news. We'll just kind of go through all the different alerts, and I'll try to weave in there all this information about, this inherent message that we carry about awakening the soul to its potential danger and or salvation. One of the two. You're going to either be saved or you're not. If you're not, you're in danger. Okay, your house is on fire, and we're trying to wake you up. And the U.S., in light of all the things that are happening with Donald Trump, people are putting their hope and praying that he knows what he's doing. And I really think that if you really look at what we've been talking about for the last 4 or 5 months, and you're not a Christian, and you really understand what's going on, you should be a Christian by now. I'm just telling you, you should have prayed a long time ago. You should have committed your heart to God. You should have repented a long time ago. Because what's coming down the road and what's coming, and I'm going to tell you what, it's a grand deception. This is one of the hallmarks of the last days. Great deception. And you know what's another hallmark of the last days? Iran would be involved in a major war. Yeah, that's why Daniel talks about the Prince of Persia and the archangel fighting for that end-time prophetic message that Daniel received. That end-time prophetic message is happening right now. Did you know that? Daniel chapter 11. Unfolding right before our very eyes. And you know who's fulfilling that? Donald Trump. Yes, Donald Trump is fulfilling Daniel chapter 11. And if you didn't really know in the context of what was coming for those last days, Prince of Persia, Iran, would be right in the midst of everything. And not to mention Israel. And the prophetic breakdown is what we're going to be doing here. We're going to break it down. We don't stop till you drop. So we're going to get down and break it down for you guys. Make sure that you understand what's happening here. I almost went into the Rapper's Delight there. Speaking of rappers, I don't know if you guys are really, those out there that are really Trump supporters really like, the whole concept of what MAGA was. Because it's not what it is. It's not what it is. It was what it was, what you thought it was. And a lot of you are starting to wake up to that reality, especially if you're a Christian. But Trump, not only has he flip-flopped on abortion, not only has he flip-flopped on Epstein files, not only, everything else under the sun. That's why they call him Taco. Trump always chickens out. Now, he doesn't chicken out. I think what he's doing, they say Taco. Trump always chickens out. He's not chickening out. He's manipulate. He's it's called, like when they talk about politics, they say, well, when you run to your base. You go to the left and then or if you're on the right, you go to your right, you go to your base, and then as the election nears and you start to win, you go to the middle, right? You move to the middle and you start compromising your whole message compromise, right? It's because you want to try to appeal as too many as you can, right? Well, that's what Trump's doing. He's pivoting to the left. He's opening up the doors, not only but we already knew those doors were wide open. Anyway, we can see through the the charade, because that's really what it was. It was a charade. But it's on a biblical level. This is another thing. This is not just your average politic here. This is definitely a man that is influencing the whole world on a scale like we've never seen before. And he's absolutely right. Makes great boasts, uses flatteries, comes to power promising peace, but in his heart are drawn swords. And he divides up the land for a price, exactly what he's doing, and pitching his royal tents right there. And then guess what? He's sucking up to demons like, what's her name? Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj. Do you even know who Nicki Minaj is? Do you know how demonically possessed this woman is? And he is just gloating over her. He's praising her. He's flatteries, because she is a very influential. You know why she's influential? Because she sold her soul to the devil. Literally. This is not metaphoric. This is literal information on what happens when you give your heart, soul, and life and career to demonic powers, and they promote you. I don't know if you've ever seen her interviews and some of the conversations she's had about being possessed, but she literally says she's possessed by demons. And she talks to them. They have different personalities. One of them is called Roman, who is a rage baiting demon that helps her to, get into her rage mode. But, when Trump appeals, and this is the same thing Erica Kirk did too. She tried to clean up that demonic image to try to, personalize her, and had her on stage, and right after her husband dies, she's like praising her and, coming out to all the fanfare of, I don't understand this whole Erica Kirk thing. This just, I understand what's going on, I think, but it just, the whole Kirk issue that unfolded there, that was all creepy. I'm just going to tell you right now, very creepy. Anyway, so Nicki Minaj is right in the middle of all that. She comes out with Erica Kirk, gets interviewed, tries to say she's a Christian. She's a Christian, right? She's a Christian. Now she's a Christian. And everything she said about Trump with Erica Kirk was in preparation for her rise to prominence and power, because she knew that's where the power is. She knows where that's where that energy is. She knows that whatever's going on inside of her soul knows that she needs to start, giving honor and glory, because that's what she did to Trump. She just worshiped him on stage, and then guess what? Now she's being called up. Now she's being promoted by Trump. Now Trump is praising her. Now Trump is extolling her virtue. Oh, but she's a Christian now. Maybe she's a Christian. Maybe she converted. Maybe she converted. Just like a lot of Christian leaders said about Trump in 2016, that he became a Christian. Yeah, we prayed with him. All the big leaders like James Dobson, they know now he's a baby Christian. He accepted Jesus into his heart. They prayed with him. He's a Christian now. We can make excuses. I'm talking from the church's point of view here. This is not for those who are out there just worldly people. I'm just going off on my rant here. All right, so let's go ahead. I always do this. I go on a rant before I get into the news. I'm sorry. But some of you guys, if you like my rants, say 1. If you don't like the rants and you want me to just get to the news, say 2. I'm kind of curious. I guess we'll get into the news right now anyway, but I'll look at those numbers and the polls here in a second. But here, let's get into the Telegram stuff. We'll start from the beginning of the day, as we always do. And by the way, if you missed our devotional that we had this morning, you definitely want to go check that out. It's we're really listening and looking to the Lord Most High and His influence on our lives every day, because it's the only way. It's the only way to fly. It's the only way to fly. What commercial was that? There she is. There's the demon woman. There she is, demon woman. You got to see some of these videos, man. How demonically possessed she is. Even Joe Rogan, who takes hallucinogenic drugs and sees demons manifesting, who is a big advocate for psychedelics. He even says that she's demonically possessed. But anyways, let's start off here. Okay, here we are, January 28th. The day starts off. This was posted. Actually, it was posted early afternoon. I think we kind of started off late today. Oh, let me go see what my poll was. Let me see what my poll numbers are here. Hold on 1 second. Poll numbers. Somebody does say there is a couple twos in there. Yeah, just get right to it. Stop talking about your crazy thinking and what you believe. Okay, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we got about 4 in there. Out of about what? 1,000? I'm going to be like Trump. 1,000 people want what I'm saying. 1,000 of you out there just enjoy and appreciate what I have to talk about. All right. So anyways, that's probably why they hate it, because I'm jabbing Trump there, huh? Okay, here we go. Israeli radar. This is Iran Watch. Growing reports today of military movements across Iran as the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps prepares for major conflict Senior, and by the way, we've got lots of intel on this, so just stay with us. We're going to get into the depths of what's happening, and I think there could be a conflict any moment. I mean, it could happen while we're on. That's how fast I think things are going. Senior Iranian officials reportedly move into underground hideouts in Israel. Reserve forces placed on standby for rapid mobilization. Now, what Israel's going to do is just going to kind of sit back. They might throw a few punches over the top, but you know who's going to be in the midst of all the chaos? America, your young sons and daughters. Every one of the American forces and military steel is going to be there. Planes, trains, automobiles. We're going to be surrounding that place. Who knows if we're not sending boots on the ground? I'm sure there's going to be all kinds of special ops going on. Who knows what's going to come out of that? I'm just saying, this is a dangerous moment, okay, for America. We are about to go all out war mode, okay? And what comes after that, only God knows. And I just pray that it doesn't affect the homeland, which I'm sure it will. I'm sure there's all kinds of sleepers going on here that are going to wake up. They're going to wake up. And who knows what's going to happen internal. But I know what's going to happen outside. I know our bases are at risk all around the world. Chaos magic. Well, this is chaos magic. This is the chaos magic moment. And you know who the chaos magic man is? Lance Wallnew said it perfect. Remember, he's the chaos candidate. He's the guy that knows how to manage chaos, and he thrives in those moments. And this is why they say order out of chaos. Remember who the New World Order, you know what we should call Donald Trump? The New World Order king of the world, because that's what they want him to be, and that's what they say he is. Everybody says it. He's taken over the New World Order. He's basically bringing a whole new UN in. The UN is going out. It's coming over to the peace board of peace. That's where the new UN board is going to be. Did you know that? Did you know that? How many of you guys knew that? And who's the chairman of the board of peace? Who is an undisputed leader without any veto votes? He can do whatever he wants as the chairman of the Board of Peace. And this thing is going to be the arbiter of all peace on planet Earth. Tell me that don't sound like the biblical book of Revelation right there. But anyways, I like I said, I got off again. So getting back to Iran. So when these things erupt, Trump is going to masterfully manage everything. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter how bad things get. It doesn't matter how many conflicts erupt on different parts of the planet. In fact, I think America's going to take it really bad here at home. Economically, who knows what's going to happen? I just have I kind of have a scenario that I think's coming. But Trump is going to continue to manage it on a global scale because he's taking a global position now. So he's kind of fixing his place in status, I think, around the world as a global leader, kind of like Mandela, that whole Mandela thing, like he's got that Mandela aura. And by the way, he looked up to Mandela big time, even though Mandela was, looking into the reason why he was in prison. Mandela was in prison for a long time. You know why? Because he was facilitating the killing. He was basically a terrorist group kind of attacking government. What he was doing was he was attacking political opponents of the communist wing of the opposition of the white government, right? So what they were doing was they were killing other black tribal leaders and people that were facilitating, any kind of conversation, democratic conversation that would have, where the ballot and the pen would have been mightier than the sword. But what did they do? They took the sword out. They started killing people, putting tires around their neck filled with gasoline. They called it necklacing, and just killing people, just torturing people, right? And then that's why Winnie and Mandela and Mandela himself, that's why he went to jail for a long time, okay? But when he came out, he was a hero now. And he was a communist still. And South Africa went total and complete communist. Okay. Well, then when Mandela came to America, guess who rolled out the red carpet for Mandela? Yeah, Donald Trump. Yeah, and what did Donald Trump do? Oh, he took him everywhere. He gave him a chauffeur ride. He took him in his limousine anywhere he wanted to go. He just showed him the town. He did it because he just loved Mandela. Okay, so this is kind of the mindset that you're going to have this global Mandela now. You can call it the Mandela effect. Why don't you just call it the Mandela effect? Scott, you can call it the Mandela effect. But anyway, so we got this. They're all going underground. Israel reserve forces are now being placed on standby for rapid mobilization. This is escalating exponentially by the moment. Now they're saying that the clock has gotten so close to doomsday now, we're just within seconds away. You know, they have a clock, a doomsday clock, if you didn't know what that was. And over the years, it's been like 2 minutes to doomsday, and then it was a minute. Now it's like, it was 50-something seconds. And now I think we're probably like 1 or 2 seconds away. I don't know. It's getting close. But we're getting very close to doomsday. Trump has ordered the U.S. military to prepare for the possibility of imposing a naval blockade on Iran starting next Friday. Okay, so somebody said to me, Robert, does God trick people? Do you really believe that God would trick you into taking the mark of the beast, Robert? Because we were talking about the mark of the beast. There's a whole bunch of new information that's come out about, the vax and all the technology that's within it. And these are all patents and everything that's come out. It's all there. We made a video on it. Somebody's like, well, why are you telling people that, people were like wondering, like, is this it? Is this really it? Because, I know people that have taken it, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Well, I would say this. It not even connected to the vaccine itself. I'm just going to say this. This is just the way God works. If you're a rebel and the Holy Spirit has come to you knocking on your door a number of times in your life and you continue to reject and resist him, I'm just saying this is just in general. This is not in any way related to the vaccine. And you continue to resist and turn away, a deaf ear and a hard heart and a stiffened neck, it says those who stiffen their neck often will be broken, and that without remedy. And if you become a stiff-necked person, then God will turn you over to believe a lie. There's a scripture that says God will turn you over to believe the lie. And that scripture is in reference to the last days. Okay? God gives them over to believe the lie. It's called the lie. What is the lie? Well, go look at it in context. It has to do with all the stuff that's going to be happening during the last days. Just so you know, yes, God will turn you over to be deceived. God doesn't have to tell you anything at a certain point when you've gone beyond and sinned away your day of grace. So you better have the fear of the Lord, because you will be given over to believe the lie, the thief, the steal, when it comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Who is that? That's the devil. The Lord doesn't come to steal, kill, and destroy. He comes that you might have life more abundantly. He's not wanting to. He doesn't want you to be deceived, but he'll give you over to the deceiver. If you reject him, he will give you over, and he will wipe the dust off of his feet. That's what I have to do too. There's a point when I have to wipe the dust off my feet with certain people because they have a cycle of deception, and they're not true in their heart, and they're not serving or looking after God's interests. So that's just what happens. And if you don't have the fear of the Lord and you don't tremble, and you're a person that wants to attack the Word of God and say that it's not true, you're going to say, well, it's not the Word of God, Robert, that I attack. It's just you, because you're wrong. And you have a bad interpretation, and you just say it in a certain way, and we don't like the way you deliver it. Well, fine, take it up with the Lord. But don't attack me. Don't be vengeance and judge, jury, and executioner, because I'm going to tell you what, that's a sign that right there that you are out of God's will. Okay, I'll tell you this, you never take the sword into your own hand. You know why? You're going to be judged with the same measure that you use. So if you're one of those judges out there, you better be careful. I'm just telling you, I have a real strong burden to warn people about their mindsets right now. There's a lot of arrogant Christians out there who think they got everything figured out. And you don't. I pray that you wake up well, my timeline says this, and my pastor told me this. And you know how many pastors are falling on their faces right now and being exposed for all kinds of corruption? A whole bunch. Yeah, a whole bunch of them. There's a whole bunch of people falling right now all over the place. And everybody's icons are being exposed in the church right now. You know why? Because God's getting ready to judge the world. He's judging the church first, and then he's going to judge the world. That's what the Bible says would happen. If judgment starts in the house of God, how will it come? How will it end with those that aren't obeying the gospel? It's going to be bad, right? Well, America's the Christian nation, right? We're the Christian nation. Well, we're going to be also under that strict judgment right now, and I think that's what we're seeing happen. So we're starting a naval blockade next Friday. Okay, there's a lot more that's happening right now, and I think that a lot of this may be the art of deception, the art of war. You know, you tell your enemy something that's not true. It could happen at any moment. I don't think it's going to be just put off for a couple days. I'll bet you something happens here real soon. What we're going to see, whatever's going to happen, it's going to be big. It's getting to be very big. Everybody's anticipating it. It says Iran-backed groups have stated that any attack targeting Iran's supreme leader, Khomeini, by Israel or the U.S. could trigger a coordinated regional response. Analysts note that such a move could spark multi-front tensions across the Middle East, raising the stakes for all involved. You're talking about a massive, and this not just Middle East, I think it could actually be all over the world, because they did say all corners of the earth when they were saying they were going to respond. Iran has already said they're going to respond on all corners of the earth, and you know what that means. So we go down here now. Israel, U.S. and Israel, a massive military campaign against Iran, which could last for weeks or even months. I wonder who's making those statements. The overall force posture suggests to be that the U.S. intends to carry out initial strikes to neutralize key targets like air defenses and air bases, possibly using a mix of B-2s, F-35Cs, and EA-18Gs, followed by potential several days or even a couple of weeks worth of further strikes using F-15s and other assets, says John, a senior editor in the UK Defense Journal. Now, Lindsey Graham and John Bolton, total and complete war hawks. If you've ever seen a war hawk, these are the poster childs. I would say they are like the poster child of war hawks. These guys embody war hawk mentality, and they rejoice in it. And they long for it. They live for war. They desire and they seek after war. I mean, even Lindsey Graham himself said, I couldn't sleep for 4 days just contemplating the fact that we're going to annihilate Iran. He literally said that, by the way. That's not an exaggeration. But they're ecstatic. They are ecstatic about what Trump is doing right now. They are so over the top ecstatic. And when they're happy about something, you should be very worried, MAGA, because you did not vote him in for that. Okay, that's against your rules. That's against your beliefs. That's against your morals. Okay. And here's Nicki Minaj, the demon lady herself, saying that God is protecting Trump. And which God is she talking about? Is she talking Roman, her God Roman? Is she talking about Roman, the God Roman? I mean, let's look at a couple of these videos. Christians, you need to wake up. You need to wake up. And we're going to look at a couple of videos here. Just like I said, my mission field is the Christian church, because so many Christians are fast asleep. Sleepy virgins all over the place.
Roman is a crazy boy who lives inside me.
Okay, so let's just go ahead and listen to this really quick.
Roman is a crazy boy who lives inside me, who says the things she doesn't want to say. He threatens to beat people, and he's violent. I ask him to leave, but he can't.
What's your name? This is Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
Famously uses several alter egos, with her most prominent being Roman Zelensky, a fiery, aggressive persona used for intense rap verses.
She also notes he was born just a few months ago and born out of rage.
But others include Martha Zelensky, Roman's mother, Chun-Li, Nick Lewinsky, and Cookie, each serving a different voice or purpose. Hold up.
Yeah, hold up. Oh, shoot. Sorry, I had a double audio there. Could you guys hear that? I hope you could hear that. Now look at, you got to just see some of this video. So this is Nicki Minaj talking with Trump in the background. Just look at this.
I am probably the president's #1 fan. And that's not going to change. And the hate or what people have to say, it does not affect me at all. It actually motivates me to support him more. And it's going to motivate all of us to support him more. We're not going to let them get away with bullying him and, the smear campaign.
Oh, shoot. It has nothing about bullying. It's just about exposing. That's all it really comes down to. It's just about revealing the truth. It's not about bullying anybody. The truth is what it is, and if the truth is something that is not accepted or is not pretty, well, then you need to repent. You need to repent of that mindset, or at least distance yourself from it and let everybody know that you're no longer possessed by demons. Let everybody know that you've repented and become a Christian, and that you truly have given up your old ways of demon possession, that you've conjured up these demons, because you're now using demon powers and gods to say that Trump, look at how happy Trump looks, by the way. He is so happy. He's like, how many followers I'm going to get now? Oh, I've just added another 10, 20 million followers to my coffers. Everybody's going to love me now because of Nicki. Yeah, but here we go.
It's not going to work, okay? He has a lot of force behind him, and God is protecting him. Amen.
See, and she's using the whole Christian ideology and mindset. The forces. What does the Bible say about this end time leader? The God of force. He worships the God of forces, or he serves the God of forces. The God of forces is military might. It's military powers. And it's probably demonic powers as well. The same rage powers that she has under Roman, that the demon Roman, that's who she conjures when she gets up on and does these demon lyrics. She has demon lyrics. She likes to call them the rage lyrics. And she said she wanted Roman out of her body, but he wouldn't leave. And so she just kind of got used to him. Yeah, so Roman is a part of her body. Right. This is the one that now Trump is now praising.
Roman is a crazy boy. Roman is a crazy boy who lives in me. And he says the things that I don't want to say. He was born, just a few months ago. I think he was born out of rage. He was conceived in rage. So he bashes everyone. He threatens to beat people, and he's violent.
That must be nice to have like an ignorant loudmouth who you can just sort of blame every...
He wants to be blamed. I don't want to blame him. I ask him to leave, but he can't. He's here for a reason. People have brought him out. People conjured him up. Now he won't leave.
People conjured him up. Yeah, people conjured him up, all right. When she does what she does, selling her soul to the devil, then everybody that, goes to her concerts, yeah, they're conjured. They're doing these big rituals. Every time there's a concert, it's a big ritual of demon powers. But anyway, so let's getting back over to Iran stuff. Here's Trump now saying a massive armada is heading to Iran. You know what armada an armada is? It's just a massive amount of military equipment. It's kind of like what the Romans would do when they would lay siege works to a city. They would bring an armada of catapults and troops and, armaments and, whatever it was to just lay siege to a city. They would just bring an armada. And a lot of that has to do with naval type stuff too. But it goes on to say, with great power and enthusiasm and purpose, America is moving this great armada over to Iran. We're so enthusiastic about it. It's a large fleet headed by the aircraft carrier Abraham Lincoln. And then he goes on to say, then that larger fleet headed by the great aircraft carrier Abraham Lincoln, it says, then that sent to Venezuela. What? I don't know if that makes sense here. Let me read that again. It is a larger fleet headed by the aircraft carrier Abraham Lincoln than that sent Venezuela. Then that sent to Venezuela. Okay, then that sent to Venezuela. Okay, sorry. It says, like with Venezuela, it is ready, willing, and able to rapidly fulfill its mission with speed and violence, kind of Roman violence, if necessary. Hopefully, Iran will quickly come to the table. And by the way, they have rejected everything that America has tried to broker with them on this latest round of talks. It's over. Okay, so the door's been closed. Iran rejected it. So here we are. They're not coming to the table. They're wanting to go full out war mode with America. And you know what? China is backing them wholeheartedly. They just sent in a huge amount. China sent an armada of planes to Iran. Did you hear about that? They were these big transport planes. Yeah, China just sent an armada of equipment. Who knows what was in those transport planes? Even if we win, we're still going to come out. And I don't even know what winning means. Like, what does winning mean? I thought we were supposed to end these wars in the Middle East. I thought we were supposed to end these regime change tactics. Isn't that what Trump ran on? I mean, now we've got Venezuela, we've got Greenland, we've got Cuba. Cuba's supposed to fall here real soon, too. Cuba, we got Iran. What else are we going to do? Who else are we going to regime change? That's like 4 countries. But hey, he's a man of peace. But remember what he said when he got his peace award? He basically kind of stole the peace award away from that poor lady. And then he's now, well, because you didn't give me the peace award, yeah, I don't really feel like I want to have peace anymore. Well, that's exactly what we told you was going to happen. I already told you guys that was going to happen. This is why we're going to do our prophetic deep dive. So we're going to have a prophetic deep dive probably Saturday. I'm thinking Saturday is the day we're going to do it. If you're a part of our Patreon group, and we're going to go into the deep dive. We're going to open up the mics. I'm going to share a whole bunch of prophecies that we've given over the 5 years that are based in biblical texts that have actually come to pass under Donald Trump, and how we predicted many of those things before they happened. Went out on a limb on a lot of stuff that a lot of people were mocking us on, but also ultimately came to pass over the last 5 years. Well, we lost a lot of subscribers, but that's okay, because you know what? We don't care about fame or popularity. We only care about what's true, okay? Because we have to give an account to God, not to you, not to anybody else, all right? So we're going to have this conversation. We're going to open up the mics after I go through a whole long explanation. We're going to edit it out. We're going to post it on YouTube. We're gonna let everybody see it eventually on the edited version. But for those who are a part of our channel and are supporting what we're doing, because we need people to support this, we got to keep this going, because we're shadow banned half the time on YouTube anyway, and we need the support. So if you're a person that wants to support a godly message, a message that's cutting edge, that cuts between the bone and the marrow, you want to see people saved, you get behind this message like you would anybody that you think is doing a good work, and you support what we're doing. Amen. So The Abraham violence is necessary. Hopefully, Iran will quickly come to the table and negotiate a fair and equitable deal. No nuclear weapons. One that is good for all parties. Time is running out. It is truly of the essence. Time is of the essence, right? As I told Iran once before, make a deal. They didn't, and there was Operation Midnight Hammer, a major destruction of Iran. The next attack will be far worse. Don't make that happen again. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald Trump, J. Trump. Anyways, I'm not even going to go there. I have so much I could say on that. I'm just going to let that one pass by. When God was handing out brains, you thought he said trains, and you said pass on by. This whole shooting with the Alex Peretti is not good either. That's Peretti. So there's another angle of it too. It looks like there was another incident that he had where he did look a little more angry. But listen to this. Gun Owners of America. These are all Trump supporters. You know, this is like the NRA. NRA, Gun Owners. This is a huge organization of people that, you know, advocate for gun rights, right? Didn't Donald Trump run on that? Wanted to take away guns? What's going on here? Peaceful protest while armed isn't radical. It's American. The First and Second Amendment protect those rights, and they always have. Gun Owners of America will hold any administration accountable. This is coming from Gun Owners of America. Now, well, the big bad gun had 2 clips. Really? Well, police carry a couple extra clips. You know, I'm not saying that, you know, you're not necessarily going to need 2 clips, but, you know, if you have a gun and you have a right to carry it, maybe he was former military, maybe he was former police, maybe this guy, you know, who knows? He was a nurse, upstanding citizen. Who, you know, give him the benefit of the doubt. You know, you can be at a protest. There's no law against that, especially Minnesota law. It doesn't have any. I don't think anywhere, unless you're in a state that bans guns completely, which I don't think there is any states that completely ban guns because it's against the Second Amendment. But, you know, if you're a person, you know, let's just say undercover or not undercover, but a former military or a former police, are you saying that they can't have an extra clip because that makes it worse? Like, what are they going to do? Because they have an extra clip, what? They're going to shoot more people? Is that what he's afraid of? I don't know. But you can't really say what they're saying. It's against the law. It's against the Constitution, really. Everything that was said was against the Constitution. Okay? All we're looking at is just constitutional law. So what Trump is saying is going against constitutional law. This is just constitutional law, okay? This is not radical. This is just constitutional law. People look at constitutional law. That's what they're looking at. If you're a gun owner, gun right advocate, you're gonna wonder, why is Trump seeming to be demonizing guns? Because they're taking this event and they're trying to demonize the guns. You know, why are they doing that now? Are they expecting things to get really bad in America and they know everybody's armed? And that this could turn into something worse? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're just afraid that everybody's got guns now and America's on the brink of going into chaos. That's probably, and that's even, you know, people are going to be not letting go of their guns when they think everything's going into chaos, because obviously they're going to want to protect themselves, right? There's all kinds of illegal aliens. They're criminals. They're terrorists in the country now. Who knows? There's all kinds of people that came across the border that were probably from Iran or any other Muslim country wanting to do harm. Yeah, and they probably have illegal guns. You know, and I always think back at the Mumbai thing when all that stuff happened in India, the Mumbai attacks, when those highly trained little group of terrorists came in. Look at all the damage they did. You know, and most of the people that were killed, they all didn't have any guns. They didn't have a gun. They, you know, if one of them had a gun in his holster and this was going on, Maybe he could have defended himself or his family or something, but nope. They just went around executing everybody because nobody had any guns. Only the bad guys had the guns, but they don't follow laws. The bad guys, they don't follow the law. So you can make all the laws you want. The bad guys are always going to have guns. This is why people want to protect gun rights. Fox News, the gold is shooting through the roof, and we're headed toward an economic crisis, and this is why gold prices and silver prices have gone just parabolic. I mean, I think I saw gold or silver at almost $120 an ounce. We tried to tell people to go get silver. I mean, if I had money, I would have done it, but I tried to tell people, you remember how I've been telling you guys over the last, few months? Well, I think I've been telling you guys. How many of you guys follow my channel? And you know, over the last 6 months, going back almost a year, I was telling you guys about the story. I've told the story a few times about how I told everybody to go out and use their credit cards and buy a bunch of silver. Remember I told that story? That happened back in 2011. And I told everybody to go do it. And people were on my channel saying, why are you doing that, Robert? You know, because we used to do live streaming back in 2011 when livestream.com. And we were like one of the first we were the first people out there doing podcasting, going all the way back to 2010. Nobody was doing it. But our channel was kind of getting a lot of attention because we were out there doing live streams, prophetic news, etc. And I was telling people to go get silver. I said, go charge up your credit cards. I don't even know why I said it. I don't even know why I said it. I was just like prophesying it, maybe. I don't know. But it was right after that, silver went up to $50. Well, people were like, why did you tell people to do that, Robert? You can't do that. You're a Christian. You're going to tell them to go into debt. I said, no. I said, when the price goes up, then you just sell off all of your profit, and then you go and you pay off your credit cards, right? And then you get the profit. That's what I told people. Well, right after that, silver went up to $50 an ounce. This is the story that I told in the last, 6 months or so. I've told that story about 3 or 4 times. There's a reason why I feel like the Lord wanted me to share that again. And maybe it was to try to get you guys to thinking, maybe, we should buy some silver when it was like $25 an ounce, right? Maybe some of you guys out there did it. I was trying to get people to think about doing that, invest. Hey, child of God, in the kingdom, economy of the kingdom here. Hello, you guys need to make some money. We need to support the gospel. We need to get out there and share the gospel to the ends of the earth. Maybe that was a prophetic word, because now look at it. If you bought in at $25 an ounce and you bought 1,000 ounces, how much would you be up right now? A lot. Yeah. Anyways. So, yeah. And then, by the way, I've never told anybody to do that ever before or ever since. I never told anybody to go out and charge up their credit cards. Never said that. Never told anybody to do that again. Never, never, never. But I implied that it was coming again. I'll just tell you, by telling those stories, I was trying to tell you guys, it might be a good idea to get some silver if you got a lot of money. Now, there was one brother that I did outright tell he needed to get silver. But he had money to do it. And that was just personal. That was just personal conversation. Personal friendship advice. Okay, so what else we got? New. Trump will give Iran 24-hour ultimatum to give up nuclear and ballistic program. Axios. This was earlier today. The Houthis threaten to target American warships in Red Sea and Arabian Sea. The conflict can potentially turn into a series of regional clashes in Iran, Lebanon, Yemen, and elsewhere. Probably here at the United States too. Can't rule out that. That's a very big possibility. Middle East update. Iran has deployed air defense systems, coastal defense units, submarines, coastal missile batteries, ballistic missiles of various ranges. And by the way, they have hypersonics. They can target and hit our naval vessels. And I don't think there is any real defense. They might have a secret defensive weapon that we don't know about. I don't know. But hypersonics are very difficult to defend against. Even the Iron Dome can't stop them. I don't even think the THAAD missile batteries can stop these hypersonics that Iran has. And do they have, and have they been delivered nuclear tacticals to put on those missiles? I think they have. I think that Iran does have tactical warheads. Unfortunately, that's why the world is going to go into chaos here real soon. But these ballistic missiles of various ranges and swarms of suicide drones along with coastline of the Hormozgan province around the port of Bandar Abbas and the eastern entrance of the Gulf of Oman. What was deployed and where? Okay, so you're talking about swarm technologies, when you've got, this is like a force multiplier where you've got swarms, not just a few, but you're talking about a swarm of drones that are attack drones. Gosh, I got something in my eye. And here's the breakdown of that. Different systems. You can look and just stop this if you wanted to go look at it later. You're looking at this in the archive. These are the different missile systems here that they have. These are Iranians, their little magic bag of tricks. Kind of like bag of tricks. What was it? Who was the cat that used to have that? Felix the cat, remember? Felix the cat, he was a wonderful, wonderful cat. He had a bunch of bags, a bunch of tricks in his bag. I kind of wonder if they're going to pull out a bunch of tricks here. Bill Gates right here talking to someone here about artificial intelligence and its impact on jobs. This was in Davos. He said, widespread automation from AI to robots and autonomous vehicles will reduce the need for human jobs within 2 to 4 years. And that's already happening. He even said it's already happening. But can you imagine in two or so years how many people are going to be without jobs? I'm just telling you, it's going to be catastrophic. Catastrophic. None of this is, we're not even going to be podcasting. They're going to have all kinds of AI stuff that you won't even know. They're already doing it now. YouTube is rolling out this new stuff where you can clone yourself and basically make content using AI and almost indistinguishable. Like it would look like it was actually me talking to you. There still is little things you can kind of detect, but it's getting to the point where you won't be able to tell, right? They're saying within the next month or so, within the next month is what I've been hearing, that AGI is going to be released. This is artificial general intelligence. This is, we're getting close to like that super intelligence. They already have it. I'm sure they already have it. I've seen stuff online that I think is AI, but it's so good, you're almost not sure. There's a lot of stuff that's coming down the pike right now that's twisting people's thinking, especially about politics. But this whole this war-driven mindset of America, I think, is being directed by AI. I think Trump is using AI hugely in every sector. This is what Doge was all about. Remember when Doge went in trying to look for corruption and all this money that was being wasted? They were installing all the AI systems within every branch of government. Whatever was going on there, they were putting it in. So the AI is has been initiated, and now it's actively being trained. The AI has to be trained. It's been given breath. It's now speaking, just like the Bible says it would. It would be given breath, and it would begin to speak. And then what it would do, it would cause all humanity, both small and great, rich and poor, bond and free, to take a marker, some kind of tracking type of biometric surveillance type technology. And we broke that down to you in one of the videos. If you haven't seen that video, it's kind of going viral. You need to go check that one out. It was just uploaded. It gives you all the technology that was in the shot and also in the PCR test. The same thing was in the PCR test that was in the shot. So when you really look at all that technology that was patented, it's all right there on Google Patents. They just released all this in the last year. All these new patents. So you might want to go check that out, because they're preparing for another round, and they're going to be injecting you again, and you're not going to be able to do anything. If you watch that video, it tells you what you're going to be able to do, what you can't do, how you're going to have to use this technology to even go to the store or drive a car. I mean, seriously, everything is going to be locked down. And dependent upon whether or not you've taken this technology. And it is mRNA. And Trump said he's the father of the mRNA. He is the one that brought it forth. He is the one that birthed it. And he takes full credit for this miracle of militarized operation that has ever happened on planet Earth. He called that a military operation, the rollout of warp speed. And that all had to do with the mRNA and getting it out. Okay, military operation unlike anything that has ever happened on planet Earth. This is his own quote, okay? So just so you know what it is. And the more study you do, the more you'll understand what it really is. And if you don't know, well, you can just slough it off as just fear-mongering, but that's fine. Go ahead. Just go to another channel. Go watch some AI slop. And go fill your brain and your emotions up and make sure you feel good. Get those endorphins or not the endorphins, but the what do they call it? The pleasure mode in your brain, stimulated, whatever they call that. It's not endorphins. It's endorphins. I forget what they call it. But anyways, here's Trump talking about on Fox. Referring to AI, he's saying that we have to use it for world peace. We have to use AI for world peace. Oh, how is AI going to be used for world peace? That's really weird. Let's listen to what he had to say.
We have thousands of businesses all over the country being built. We have hundreds of big major factories between AI, autos, and many other things being built. We've never had a thing
them
like
as a
this.
tool for world peace.
For world peace, yeah. We have to use it for world peace.
But what happened?
We've never had anything like it ever in the history of the world. How many times have I heard that? Never anything ever been seen like this ever before. Never, ever, never, ever has been seen anything like this ever before. That's the only thing I every time I think of Trump, I think of him saying something like this, or disparaging people, putting people down, boasting about everything that he's doing, how it's all Biden's fault. Like anytime I listen to Trump, I'm expecting the whole rerun. It's like the greatest hits. Biden was a bad president. Biden did this. We're in the situation we're in now, but it's the greatest economy ever we've ever seen on the planet Earth. But it's all Biden's fault that you're not able to buy groceries. But hey, inflation is down and jobs are up and everything's going great. Amazing, amazing. But they don't say anything about silver and gold. Those are markers of the collapsing economy. They asked him about the dollar and how bad the dollar's doing. He said the dollar's been doing great. It's the greatest thing that's ever happened. The dollar's up, up, up. In the same moment that he was talking, the dollar had just fallen about was it $1 or something? It just crashed down. So, it's always opposite. If you really want to really get a real handle on what Trump is really all about, just think opposite of what they're saying. It's opposite. There might be a little semblance of truth they're kind of baiting you with. They might tell you something, a sweet little lie that you might, little white lies here, little white lies there. Just read his book, The Art of the Deal. It's all about white lies. It's like you just embellish. He calls it truthful hyperbole. He goes, everybody wants to believe something big, so you got to talk big. You got to inspire. You got to get their emotions running. You got to get them to think, because they can't think big, but you can tell them something that excites them. You want to excite them, he says. You want to excite them. So you got to excite them. You got to speak positive. You got to speak. It's called Norman Vincent Peale in it. Norman Vincent Peale was Trump's pastor, and if you know anything about Norman Vincent Peale, he was the father of the whole prosperity gospel positive thinking movement. positive mental attitude, positive Christianity, Robert Schuller, Crystal Cathedral. We're just going to talk Crystal Cathedral, positive Christianity. We don't talk about the cross. We don't talk about repentance. We just talk about how good you are, how wonderful you are, how beautiful you are. God loves you the way you are. You don't have to change. You don't have to repent. You can keep on sinning. Just know that God loves you. You're positive. You know, this is positive thinking. This is Norman Vincent Peale. Trump's most favorite pastor growing up. This is his pastor. Okay, this is the guy he icons is a icon. That's the word I'm thinking of. Is there a word for that? He puts him on a pedestal. Okay, he looks at him as an icon, and so that's what Trump is doing. He's just talking positive, and everybody loves it. Everybody wants to believe. They want to trust the plan. They want it to work. Well, don't you want it to work, Robert? Yeah, but it's not based in truth. How can you expect something to come to pass and trust the plan when it's contrary to what's true? You can't. If you know it's a lie, I can't sit there and support it. Well, what do you want me to do? You throw away my spiritual mind and my brain and my worship of God and understand what God has for us, that it's true, and say, no, I'm going to put that on the back burner. I'm going to trust the plan. You know, I'm behind Trump 100. You know, like this is what a lot of Christians have done today. They basically thrown away their spiritual life, and they kind of politicize it. And you got all these Christian prophets out there that are prophesying politics all day long. And I could name off a bunch of those. Here's Amazon is laying off 16,000 workers and will replace them with AI. You know, they got AI robots now, can pack all your stuff 24/7. Don't even need people anymore. They just got AI robots packing and shipping 24/7. No vacation pay, no sick leave, no pay at all. Really. I mean, the robots pay for themselves very quickly. AI fuels record job cuts as top firms slash thousands of roles. AI has triggered the highest workforce cuts since the financial crisis, with one CEO warning government bans may have to be introduced. U.S. employment. See, this is where they're going to have to bring in UBI, Universal Basic Income. They're going to have to start giving people money because there's no jobs. It's destroying the middle class, and not only that, but the upper middle class as well. I mean, you know, even jobs like nursing and doctors, they're going to be 86 as well. Doctors, you know, they've got robotic surgeries that can be done even more efficiently and more accurately and more safely than a human. Seriously. They got this ability now with this technology. So U.S. employment consultancy Challenger, Gray, and Christmas reveal in a recent report 1.2 million jobs were cut were announced last year. Up to 58% of the roughly 760,000 layoffs in 2024 were due to AI. Wow. CEO Jamie Dimon told the World Economic Forum that he'd likely employ fewer workers in the next 5 years, warning rushing into AI-driven layoffs without precautions could potentially trigger civil unrest. Why would it trigger civil unrest, you might ask? Because people are going to go hungry. They're not going to be able to pay their bills or buy food. But maybe they just want everybody to kill each other off. Maybe that's what they want. They want a civil war. They want a bunch of chaos. They want a global war. That way it'll thin out the herd, right? There won't be as many people on planet. You know, hey, lower the population on planet Earth. That's what Bill Gates wants to do, right? He said that vaccines would help do that. They asked him, how do we lower population on planet Earth? He said, vaccinations. Oh, really? Really? I thought vaccinations are supposed to make you more healthy. I thought they were supposed to keep you alive longer. People are like, what do you mean vaccinations? You know how he explained it? Well, Well, people in Africa, they usually have like 10 children because they're always afraid that their children are going to die because of disease and everything. But what we do is we make them healthy by giving them a vaccine. So now they only want to have 2 children. They don't want to have 10 children anymore because now they're not afraid that they're going to lose like 8 of them to disease or war or whatever. But now, nutrition or whatever, we help them with vaccines. Does that make any sense? No, it doesn't. No, but that's what he said. Sounds like a kill shot to me. Let's see. New UPS says that it's cutting up to 3,000 additional jobs in 2026 because it expects to deliver fewer packages for Amazon. What? Fewer packages? Why? Is it because nobody has any money? Is that why? Is that what it is? I'm trying to figure that one out. I haven't looked at that article yet. That's Disclosed TV. I'll have to go check it out. I'm guessing it's because nobody has any more money. Iran has already rejected some of Washington's terms. This is going down the day, so we're at 5:30 p.m. West Coast time here. So that was about 4 hours ago. They have rejected some of Washington's terms. A senior Iranian official said Tehran wouldn't compromise on its right to continue enrichment for civilian purposes or to maintain its missile arsenal, which it considers necessary for its defense. Wall Street Journal. Gold has surpassed 5,500. Now, just the other day, it was at 5,000. I'm sorry, 5,500. And now it's at 5,500. It just went over the event horizon, which they say, is that theoretical barrier that surrounds a black hole before you go into it. So gold has surpassed or gone over the event horizon. So has silver. So this is a psychological barrier that now the sky's the limit because now it's going to probably reevaluate to its real worth because it's really gold, silver has decoupled from our manipulated paper tiger economy because that's really what it is. It's just a paper tiger economy. There ain't nothing really there. And everybody now knows it. The whole world knows it. That's why they're de-dollarizing. That's why there's hyperinflation coming to America. Or it's already here. I think it's already here. I don't think it's coming. I think it's already here. That's why you're seeing the prices of gold and silver like the way they are. Everything is being inflated. Sad, but that's where we're at. Trump weighs major new strike on Iran as nuclear discussions show progress. This was just a few hours ago. The strike would mark an escalation from June of 2025. Weather. I know you guys over there are probably freezing your butts off right now. If you can hear me, if your power's still on. I know there was a lot of people without power. In fact, let me look and see what power outage map says. It says that there's 100,000 customers out in Tennessee, 100,000 customers out in Mississippi, and about 54,000 customers out in Louisiana. That's a lot better than it was. It was up to 800 and almost 1 million customers the other day. So at least people got their power back on, most of them. But still very cold and frigid temperatures that could kill you if you're not warm. So everybody stay warm out there. Florida cold outbreak could be Miami's coldest in 15 years as record high temperatures plummet to record lows. It says the cold air will arrive on Saturday and peak on Monday. So this is coming on the weekend. So you guys are still getting a lot of cold air coming down for the next, week or so? Wow, this is crazy. On Sunday morning, northern Florida will bottom out. It says it will bottom out in the teens. What? And temperatures will drop to the 20s as far south as Orlando. Wow. If the cold air isn't enough, there's an ever so slight chance that parts of northern Florida could see flurries Saturday night, which would include parts of Tampa Bay area. That's something we don't see very often. The National Weather Service office in Melbourne is warning of hard freeze conditions, both Sunday and Monday mornings. And by the way, a hard freeze is when your pipes all freeze up. And then when they thaw out, you have broken pipes. So make sure that you try to secure some kind of, keep your faucets running, don't, almost have to leave them wide open. Not wide open, but, enough where there's enough water. You can't just do a drip. You got to have them wide, kind of moving. Moving water is going to be a little bit warmer where it won't actually freeze up. Now, if it's a really cold spout where it's like below negative, then it could actually freeze as it's coming out. But this should be fine if you keep all your faucets open. They are urging everyone to protect their plants, pets, people, and pipes as we go into this unusual cold snap. I like that. Pets, plants, people, pipes. What else could we put in there? How about pickles and peanuts? Anyways, another Arctic blast. Look at this. This is coming down. Oh my gosh. Friday night wind chills. Are you kidding me? Look at this. What in the world? -15 in St. Louis? This is Friday? Coming up here in the next, 2 days? You guys are going to have negative, oh my gosh, look at this. -10 in Kansas City. Tulsa, Oklahoma, -15. St. Louis, Missouri, 15 negative. Chicago, -10. You got negative temperatures in Kentucky, Tennessee. Holy cow. What in the world is going on? Is there a polar shift going on here? What's going on? Is the planet, are we having a pole shift? I was going to say a polar shift, but a pole shift? What's going on here? This is unheard of. What is happening, guys? Is this it? Is the planet flipping? I mean, it's flipping or something. What in the world? You better have some firewood. Exactly, Frodo Baggins. Frodo Baggins knows. Frodo Baggins is a gnome. I think a gnome or what is Frodo Baggins? Isn't Frodo Baggins a gnome? And he's a little hobbit, He lives in a hobbit house. Doesn't he have like a little fireplace? You better get your fireplace out. Frodo Baggins recommends getting your fireplace ready to go. At least 44 deaths have already occurred. 44 deaths have occurred and are now blamed on the snow, ice, freezing rain, and dangerously cold temperatures. States that are still facing the most power outages are Louisiana, Mississippi, and Tennessee. This weather is definitely geoengineered. Absolutely. Somebody said Day After Tomorrow movie. Yeah. Tennessee has the highest number of outages with more than 130,000 homes and businesses still without power. Now, if you guys don't have power when this negative temperature comes through, my goodness, that's going to be bad. Because Tennessee does still have over 100,000 plus customers out of power. And you're getting negative temperatures coming in on Friday. Let me see what the temperatures are right now in Tennessee. I'm just kind of curious. What's a good city in Tennessee to look up? Tennessee. Let's see. Let's see if we can find a good city to look at. Let's just look at let's look at Nashville. Nashville, Tennessee. Let's see what it looks like there. Nashville, Tennessee's weather right now is 28 degrees. It's 28 degrees. Let's get their 10-day forecast here. Well, the 10-day forecast is saying that it's only going to be 15 degrees on Saturday, 13 degrees on Friday. So it's going to get down to 13 degrees, 25 degrees. Okay, well, you know, that's just kind of an average day in the winter for us, where I'm at. You know, 25 degrees in the day, 15 degrees at night, 13 degrees. That's kind of an average winter day for us. But for you guys that aren't used to this or don't have your pipes and everything set up for that, you know, that could be the apocalypse, you know, especially if you don't have power, because we do live in the Great White North. Trump continues to send military equipment to the Middle East. Trump sends an additional destroyer, USS Delbert, D. Black. Isn't that a cartoon? Delbert. USS Delbert, an RC-135V electronic surveillance jet, is going to join U.S. forces amassing in the Middle East. So that was just trumpeted out about an hour ago. Iran, this was at 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. Iran says we are now in the 48-hour period. If we see any bomber movement in the next 48 hours, it would mean the strike package will be delivered over the weekend. So is Iran saying that? Is that what you're saying? Honey, did Iran say that, or is that just what it says? We are now in the 48-hour period. If we see any bomber movement in the next 48 hours, it would mean the strike package will be delivered over the weekend. Not sure if that's actually what Iran is saying or if that's somebody else. Okay, so Marco Rubio says that the U.S. would preemptively, that means we're going to strike before anything happens, preemptively strike Iran. Oh, okay, I gotcha. It would preemptively strike Iran if we have indications they're going to attack our troops in the region. We're going to strike them. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio tells the Senate Foreign Relations Committee hearing a short time ago. So do they need to actually ask Congress to go to war, or are they going to just wait until one of our ships gets hit by some hypersonic missile, and that'll catapult us into obvious war with Iran? There won't need to be a declaration of war from Congress. We will just automatically be in war, right? That's kind of what happened when we embargoed Japan during World War II. We basically just kind of in a certain way declared war on them by doing that. But did they actually declare war in Congress on Japan? I think once they attacked us, it just happened. Uh-oh. What's going on here? Let me see something here. 1 second here. Let me see this really quick here. Initial reports of an explosion in Buenos Aires, Argentina. What is this? So this just happened in Argentina. Look at this. Argentina, huh? Did we threaten to do something to Argentina? Have we threatened Argentina? I'm not sure. All right, let's get back to the feed there. This is coming from Chief Political Advisor to the Supreme Leader of Iran, Khomeini. So this is one of Khomeini's chief advisors. He said that a limited strike is an illusion for America, right? If we're going to just think we're going to strike them in a limited way. Any military action by the U.S. from any origin or at any level will be considered the start of war, and its response will be immediate, all out, and unprecedented targeting heart of Tel Aviv and all those supporting the aggressor. So they're going to launch everything at Tel Aviv. Huh. That was just about an hour ago. And, yep, so this is our feed here. And this is something that just came out in the Sun. Ready to blow. Ready to blow. Iran threatens to retaliate like never before. Never before. The Khomeini was like this. Never before, ever seen in the history of the world. We're going to retaliate. You've never seen anything like it before. To any U.S. attack after Trump warns huge armada is ready for violence. So Trump's threats of violence are now being responded to by the supreme leader of Iran. And he's saying nothing's like it's ever been seen before. It will be seen like that before. So Italy has issued an emergency notice for its remaining citizens in Iran to leave immediately. There could be some kind of nuclear devastation. You don't want to be there. Nobody's going to survive. The New York Times is currently reporting that the negotiations between the United States and Iran have failed after Iran refused all the clauses demanded by the Americans. Americans already have digital ID. 94% of air travelers are compliant with Real ID. Starting February 1st, the non-compliant 6% will be fined $45 every time they fly and have their biometric data swiped at the airports. Does that mean they're going to stick a nose thing up your, some swab up your nose with a big old stick right in the back of your eyeballs, causing your nose to bleed profusely? Did any of you guys out there get that swab stuck up into the back of your nose, up into your eyeballs? I'm just kind of curious. The only missing component on a full-on digitized control grid is tokenized digital programmable money, but Trump administration is working on that too. Yeah. He's the one rolling it out, don't you know? He's the one. I told you he's doing it. MAGA, did you get it? MAGA, wake up. Wake up, MAGA. Mama, you're gonna wake up and you're gonna be like, Mama, please say it's not true. ICE is admitting right now to databasing Americans and creating social credit scores. We have a nice little database, and now you're considered a domestic terrorist. That's what they said to some lady out there that was filming. She's like, why are you filming us? What's the problem? Oh, we could film, and now you're on domestic terror list. Oh, really? So if you're in any way doing something that they don't like, they're going to take a picture of your face and you're going to be on the domestic terror list. ICE is employing a new tool called Elite, powered by Palantir, to track Americans and illegals using predictive models and scores to determine where someone might travel so that ICE can make arrests. That's interesting, huh? Gonna just arrest you. You just take a little trip. We know exactly where you go. And you know how they know too? I'm gonna tell you exactly how it works. So when you travel, let's just say you live in a big state where you kind of you travel 20 or 30 miles, or maybe you go 50 miles to visit someone or whatever. And maybe you do that a few times a month, right? So maybe you have a routine. Maybe you have a job. Maybe you commute, and you're having to go a longer distance. Well, every time you travel, you are being databased by digitized camera systems whether they're on the roads or on the light poles or even on police cars, because they're always taking pictures. The computers on the police cars, a lot of times they have like 360-degree camera systems, and they take pictures continually. And so it feeds into a database. And anytime you pass some of these data systems or bases of cameras, they're taking pictures of your car, of your license plate, everything, and it databases it. And so they basically have a digitized tracking system of your car, of who you are, of everything about you, and where you go, and basically it tells like a pattern. It gives patterns and destinations of where you travel. I'm sure that they can do that now with satellite too, because the satellites can pick up real strict, and all of this is being databased by AI. So AI can chronicle all this in real time, right? Because it can zoom in on stuff. That they've got everything being surveilled with satellites now. Every inch of the planet can literally be databased in real time, and they can roll it back and scroll back and zoom in to a dime anywhere, and they can follow everything that happened and surveil it, days gone by, right? And so when they got you in the database, and they basically, and then they have all that facial recognition software. So wherever you go, it's called the Internet of Eyes. It's all connected to the database of the internet and the AI, right? So it's databasing you in real time, and the AI knows everything about. So if they have Palantir, they can basically find out everything about where you're at in real time, where you're at, what you're doing, where your patterns are, and where to get you at any moment, right? So this is just so you all know, I mean, how far along it is. This is happening right now in America. And this tool, Elite, that ICE is using is powered by Palantir. Now, Palantir is a software that is utilized by AI, and they used it, they rolled it out in Gaza, and all the people that were targeted by AI and all this technology, right? They track you on your cell phones. They can track you in your car. Your cars are basically like, especially the new ones, They record everything. They've got camera systems in them. They got tracking. Everything's tracked wherever you're at. Your phone does the same thing. Even if people have your phone number, if they have your phone number, they can track you in real time where you're at too. They've had that for a while, I guess. But and so what they did is they had all these kill lists, right? The AI chooses people and networks their networks together, so they know who knows who. Oh, they're related in some way to this person, and this is a terrorist, so they're all on a terror list. So these people all need to be eliminated, their homes. This is why the whole of Gaza Strip has just been leveled, right? AI just had all these targets, and they just continually bombed every target, right? They said, well, the AI had a kill list, but a human had to sign off on every kill. They could have just allowed AI to do it, and they arm the weapons, send the drone. The drone is AI driven. They've got it now where they can just launch robots. I mean, they could literally, they're setting it up now where they're making these robots for like Star Wars type armies. Like seriously, if you ever saw the movie Star Wars, and you saw the drones and the robotic military type robots, that's literally what they're doing. This is why they're making these robots. This is why Elon is making these robots, because they want military drones that literally are armed and they can kill people. They've already got it in weapon systems in drones where they can shoot guns. I was just looking at one yesterday where they got like the gun shoots and it doesn't even move. It's able to stabilize, and it can just shoot, and it points, and it's very accurate. Not to mention, just suicide type drones. They got the suicide drones, and that's how they were killing people. They did the same thing in Ukraine. So they've rolled all this technology out to war game it, so they can expand on that knowledge. They're training the AI to do all this stuff, and now they're going to use it on Americans. This is Catherine Austin Fitts. In my opinion, she was, I think she was the finance minister, or I'm trying to remember what her position was. She was in the Reagan administration, and she had a very high level position. So she's not a dummy. She's a conservative, very conservative. Listen to what she has to say.
My opinion, Trump was put into the White House to persuade conservatives to go along with a control grid. And what you need to understand is if you look at all the factions operating in Washington, there is nobody on our side. They are all trying to implement the control grid. And the question is, who's going to control it and who's going to make money on it? So is Trump our friend? Absolutely not. And if you look at the extraordinary effort that the administration has made to build the control grid, the local hardware and software infrastructure, billions of dollars. So let me step and talk about the local infrastructure and then come back to this side, Andy. Let me explain what AI is really good at. So there's a lot of crazy, magical, stupid thinking on AI. But one of the things I will say about AI, it's absolutely superb at implementing or tracking things that can be expressed mathematically. So its ability to collect and process huge amounts of data like surveillance data, where you're trying to implement spatial control or financial control, it's absolutely fantastic at. Okay. And if you look at all the data centers we're building all over the country, they are there for control. That's what they do. They're not there to make businesses. I always laugh when the guys say, oh, we poured all this money into AI and it's not making companies more productive. Well, of course, it's not meant to make companies more productive. It's meant to make sure that the leadership has complete control, spatial control and financial control. I just noted Congressman Massey is now fighting to kill the switch in your car, kill the car switch. So they've got new items in the car that your car can be turned off, remotely. And so he's trying to kill the kill switch. But that gets back to spatial control. And if everybody's an electric car and you can kill the switch, there you go. You've got total control of movements and money.
Oh, wow. That's pretty crazy.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's not just the kill switch, that can shut your car off. I mean, they can repossess. They have stuff now where they can repossess your car if you got a new car, didn't make a payment. They can shut your car off, make features on your car not work, and who knows? They might even be able to remotely drive your car back to a repo station if you don't make your payments here soon. I don't know if they're allowed to do that right at the moment, but they do say that there's abilities to do that. They also can track and trace everything that you do while you drive. So if you're slowing down too fast or you're driving too fast, they database all that information and they send it to your insurance company. And if your insurance rates go up because you were driving erratically, it's because you were tattletaled on by your car. Your car sends data now to insurance companies. Did you know that? You didn't know that, did you? Oh, that's on a lot of new cars. So, yeah, your new cars are tattling on you. He drove too fast the other day and slammed on the brakes. And your insurance company's like, what? Okay, your rates are going up. Sorry about that. You look like you're a dangerous driver from what your AI onboard database just told us. So, yeah, there's ways that you can, and all you got to do is if you have a car and you want to try to disable any of that stuff from being sent I think I don't know if it's legal to do or anything, but your car, I mean, you don't want surveillance on everything, do you? I mean, gosh, you would think that you could do something about it. But anyways, just saying, you got to go on YouTube and look for stuff like that because it'll tell you all about it. If you want more information on your particular car, especially if it's a newer one, it's probably got all kinds of tattletale stuff in it. Let's see what else we got here. The Hill. And they're always saying, well, if you're not doing anything illegal, well, why not? Why not allow them to know everything? You're not doing anything illegal, are you? No, I'm not. And I go to the bathroom too. I kind of like a little privacy too, but am I supposed to have like a camera sitting there watching everything that I do? I mean, really? Do you want any privacy? Do you want somebody tracking you? You know, is that kind of opens the door for a dictator too, you know, to come into your life, into your home, and who knows what they want to do to you if they don't like what you're saying, and they take away all the laws. I mean, you really want it to be to that point? But you're not doing anything illegal, are you? Why are you worried? It's just like the stupidest arguments. Like, where are people's brains? Do they not understand like basic, you know, history? I get a little history lesson. Go back and look at how tyrants controlled populations and what they did with limited technology, let alone this kind of technology. You know what I'm saying? Are you guys following me out there? Or am I just like really serious? I'm just going off the rails here. Oh, Trump wants to be king of the world with his board of peace. This is according to The Hill. What? This is kind of a conservative outlet, isn't it? I guess this is a contributor. They made sure they put that on there. This is views that are expressed by contributors, and they're on their own. And it's not necessarily the view of The Hill. This is opinion. Trump wants to be king of the world with his board of peace. Let's see what it says here. Trump wants to be king of the world, board of peace, stealth attack. The president thinks of himself as the world's dominant figure. That the president thinks of himself as the world's dominant figure is hardly a secret. Last April, he told two interviewers that in his first term, quote, I had two things to do, run the country and survive. His second term agenda, I run the country and the world. What? That's what Trump said, guys. That's a quote right out of his own mouth. Trump's board of peace, a new world order without the United Nations. Trump formally unveiled, signed, and got others to sign the charter of the U.S.-friendly international organization in Europe, assembled ostensibly for resolving not just the stalemated Gaza war, but also other conflicts. It carries an entry fee of $1 billion. Yes, that's 1 billion with a B. For permanent membership. So he's parceling out the land and the oversight of the land for peace for a price. And by the way, when we do this Patreon gathering, so make sure that if you're a person that likes prophecy, you want to see how prophecy in ancient scriptures that predicted the future how are coming to pass in our news today, make sure you're there at the Patreon. I'm going to go through all of the different predictions that have been made over the last 5 years. We're going to do a little bit of a deeper dive. It might be a series because I don't think I can get all of this in to even a 2-hour gathering. So what we're going to do is we're probably going to break it up into series. Like every week we'll do a little bit. And everybody that's a part of our Patreon support group is going to get in to the raw conversation. And then it'll be edited out and we will post what we talked about or what I talked about on YouTube But the conversation, obviously, and everything else that's said in there for those that are supporters is going to be just for you. So if you want to get in on the nitty gritty and get into the depths of what we're really talking about, become a supporter. We need support. Okay, this is a way to try to drum up support. We need more supporters. We're definitely getting down to the wire here, guys. So please help if you can. And also get educated on what's really going on. Other guests will have 3-year terms. And of course, Trump will lead the League of Nations 2.0 as its lifetime chairman. And by the way, he is the lifetime chairman. There is no other chairman of the board. He is the one. He is the only. He is the Trumpinator. He is the little horn, if you will. No one can make war with him. As it says, no one will be able to resist. In September 2025, the BOP, the Board of Peace, was originally conceived to oversee the rebuilding of the war-torn Gaza and rehabilitate its more than 2 million displaced people. However, there is no Palestinian representative on the Board of Peace. That's interesting. But then its larger master plan evolved to embrace the entire planet. The Gazans, Palestinians, has simply ceased to exist almost. Whatever happened to the Palestinians? Oh, I don't know. You know, they've been moved out, killed en masse. You know, they were terrorists. They knew a lot of terrorists. They were terrorists. They all died. They didn't want to leave. We tried to tell them it's not a place to live. We got plans for this place. Ben Gurion Canal, offshore, deposits and assets that we have to develop. It's prime real estate. It's a prime real estate. That's what they say, prime real estate. This is where the Mediterranean, the Riviera on the Mediterranean is going to be built. It's got to be. We got to get it ready. Got to get out of the way so we can get it ready. Well, this is the way MAGA was at first, and this is how they are now. Tell me this is not like MAGA. They're like, Trump. Trump first term. Now what? Oh, no. Look at that little baby. So cute. What the heck? Almost look. That's MAGA to me. And this was me the whole time. No. No. I like these memes. And this is Trump when the whole world is engulfed in global war. Did I do that? He's going to be like, but that's what I was supposed to do. It's called order out of chaos. Let's see if I got another funny meme here. Let's see. We can get another funny meme. Anyways, this is a scary one. Trump, please don't look at me like that. You're scaring me. Please don't send the drones. For me to live is Christ, but to die is gain. And he's like, well, we're coming to get you. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And Iran, this is Iran. This is what Iran's getting ready to do. We're going to get ready to press the button. I think they have tactical nukes. I do. I think they have tactical nukes. Yep. Unfortunately, I think they do. But anyways, I guess that's about all there is at this point. Unfortunately, we are nearing the end of our great broadcast. Okay, wait, there's something else my wife has just sent. She's keeping me on the air. Silver has reached $120 in the ounce. Ding, 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 ding. It has literally gone over $120 an ounce. You know what this means, don't you? This means the fire of heaven. Look at this. Does this remind you of anything? Oh. The outpouring of the Holy Spirit on the day of Pentecost. 120 were in the upper room. How many of you guys are here right now? How many people we got here? 287. Okay. Well, it is an upper room moment here. $120 an ounce. For those who are into numerology, we are at 120. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. Now, all you guys that got some money from your gold or from your silver investments, make a little donation to the ministry. Keep us on the air. Could you do just a little? We'll just put our little cup up. Just a little extra coffee here so that we can survive. Just another day. The end is nigh. The end is nigh. Someone says, I'm rich. Really? You're rich? That's cool. Don't get too caught up with riches, though. Riches can be a big distraction away from reality. Did you know that? Riches are actually a very huge temptation for people to get caught up in an unreality moment because they think it says they imagine their riches as an impenetrable fortress when they're really not. The only one that's in an impenetrable fortress is one that understands and knows the Lord and trusts him. Those are the only ones that are in an impenetrable fortress, not those who have money. Your money isn't going to save you. Okay, it can be an idol, and many times it is. Many people put their money as idolatry. How many of you guys know that? I've done it in the past. I'm not saying I'm perfect because I have put trust in horses and chariots myself. Some trust in horses and some trust in chariots, but we will remember the name of the Lord our God. The name of the Lord is a high tower. It says the righteous run into it and are safe. You want to run to the name of the Lord. He is the bulwark. He is the defense. He is your fortress. You want to be in him, right? And all the treasures of wisdom and of knowledge are hidden in Christ. They're hidden. They're not there for everybody. If you're not right in your heart, you got other reasons for why you're doing things that are not right, then God might hide them from you. He might not let you see. You might be in the wrong place at the wrong time. God gives you grace for a period of time. But when you sin away your day of grace, and this could be your last warning, for all you know, this warning right here could be your last warning. This could be your last warning. This is why you need to fear the Lord. And if it is the last warning, and then something happens after that, well, then you had your chance. God gave you one last warning. So make your choice. If you're not right with God, get right. Amen. The final unit said I was just joking. It's okay. I know you're joking, but I took that moment to preach, brother or sister, whatever you are. I'll take it as a moment to preach. Amen. Nature Outdoor Quest. God bless you. Do you have a channel out there? Do you have a YouTube channel? Do you do anything on YouTube? Let me see. I promote people's YouTube channels if they're doing stuff on YouTube. Go over, check out Nature Outdoors Quest. Yeah, he does have some videos up here. Why don't you subscribe to this guy? He's got about 500 subscribers. That's not bad. That's good. It looks like you're doing stuff here. Last time you posted was 8 months ago. Cool. You got some survival type stuff, it looks like. Hikes in the mountains. That's awesome. A relaxed hike camping. You're camping in alligator country? Really? Alligator country? That's kind of scary. Let me see some alligator stuff. Oh, well, there's some alligators. What? You got alligators here. Let me see if I can put this on there. Yeah, if you want your channel promoted, just let me know. I'll put people's channels up. If you guys got channels you want promoted, I'll talk about you. This is Nature's Outdoors Quest. Doors with an S. Nature Outdoors Quest. That's one word. Right on. That's awesome. A fellow YouTuber. Cool. Please pray Shane Warren's interview on his open vision on its supernatural. Okay. Yeah, I always like people that prophesy after the fact. Silver's going up. I'm prophesying that silver is going up. Hold on one sec. Oh, I still got this on the background there. Sorry. Okay, guys, I love you all. God bless. You guys keep strong, keep focused. Make sure that nothing is happening here. I got another ding here. Let me look really quick. U.S. Navy reconnaissance drone backup over the Strait of Hormuz, mapping things out. Ooh, that's happening right now. All right, guys. So listen, if something happens, if there is an outbreak of war, it might happen, who knows, in the next few hours even. I will let you know. Make sure you're subscribed to us on the app. Get on our app and subscribe to the app. I will send you a text alert if you subscribe. If you don't subscribe, I'll just send you a push notification, which will pop up on your push notifications if you got the app. You can be a guest, or you can be one that registers with the app, and you can register. Oh, well, I should just show it to you. But anyways, get on the app, but subscribe in all of our other social media so that you get the alert. Redundant backup is the key, right? Two is one and one is none. Always have a backup. Always need a backup. All right. God bless you. Love you all. And keep your faith and your head looking up. You're strong in the Lord and the power of his might. Put on the full armor. It's a battle. And it does look like there's stuff going down, so I might end up being back. So let's just see how it goes. I'm going to close it out for right now, but if something does break out, I will let you guys all know. I'm getting some more alerts. We'll see what happens. But I'm not going to sit here and wait. So for right now, we're closing it out. If something goes down, I'm getting a bunch of alerts right now. We'll come back on, okay? So stay tuned if we do. God bless. Have a good night. BP News here. The new app is available for download at the Apple and Android stores. Get notified instantly when breaking news takes place via the push notification feature if you are just a guest and downloaded, or if you become a member by clicking the upper right-hand corner where the little person icon is to register with BP News. You'll also get a text alert with other community features that will become available when you are a registered member. Do it now before breaking news really hits the fan.